All right, let's continue on page 118. Here we're going to be putting the letter E into each one of these words, right? So when we put E in here, this is a hen, right? We know what a hen is. And over here we have bed. This is where we sleep each night. And here, 10, the number 10. And what about fen? We talked about fen, right? The low waters, like a marsh or a bog. And what about in here? Here we have a tent. And over here, when you put an E, it's a jet. The planes that fly through the sky, right? Now let's do the same thing on this side, but with the letter I. Here, if we put in the letter I, it's a 6, right? So we can draw a line from 6 to the picture of a 6. And here, if we put an I in there, a wig. We talked about wigs, right? Fake hair that you put on top of your head. So we can draw a line from wig down to the picture of a wig. And here, if we put an I, it's a pin. Pin's what we poke through holes, right? Poke through clothes, right? Keeps our clothes together. We can draw a line from the picture of a pin. And what about here? If we put an I, it's sit. To sit down in a chair. We can draw a line up to sit. And here, pig. With an I, here's a pig. Draw a line to pig. And here is dig. We're digging through the ground. Draw a line up to the picture of someone digging. On to page 120, it says circle the pictures if its name rhymes with dog. So here we have jog. When you're running, right? Jog rhymes with dog. What about big? It's got a great big coat. That doesn't rhyme with dog, but log does. Great big long log. What about pig? Pig ends with G, but pig doesn't rhyme with dog. But fog? You know what fog is? When there's lots of moisture in the air and you can't see through it? Fog rhymes with dog. On page 121, it says hog has a short O vowel sound. Look at the words in the cloud. Write the name of each word in the puzzle. So number 1, we see what we just talked about over here is fog, right? When you can't see through. So number 1 down would be fog. And number 2, your little pet that you love so much is a dog. So number 2, we could have dog down. And number 3, when you have a shovel and you're putting it out into the ground, is when you dig, right? So 3 will be dig. And number 4, what's it when a tree falls down? It's a great big log, right? So number 4 will be log across. And on page 122, it says cut the letters out at the bottom of the pictures, then paste them into the right place to complete the rhyming words. So we're going to be putting these letters up into these words to make complete words. So what is this? What are little insects called? They're called bugs, right? So we can put our B up here to make bug. What about this? What's down there on the ground? What's down at your feet? It's called a rug, right? If you ever pulled the rug out on somebody who was standing on it? And what about this? When you embrace someone that you love so much, you give them a hug. You can put the H right there for hug. On page 123, it says bug has the short U vowel sound. Write the letter U to complete the word of the pictures, then name each picture out loud and circle the pictures with the short U sound. So which one of these pictures has the short U sound, the sound? Well, we already talked about this over here, right? This is a bug. That has the short U sound. We can circle that. What about this? These are tubes. Tubes don't have the short U sound. But, just like we talked about over here, a rug, what you stand on in your living room. And what about this? When something isn't small, it's great, big, but it says it's huge. But huge is not the short U sound. But what about this? When you grab someone that you love so much, you give them a hug. That's the short U sound. So we can circle hug. And that is our complete book. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.